FileMakerTraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. Hope y'all are having a lovely day and time, and that your weekend went well. Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. It's nice to be there. It's nice to be here back.
Yes, it's good to have you back. It's been like, what, a
Yeah.
month? It's been like ages.
Yes.
Okay, so it's good to have you back, Nick. Speaking of which, let's talk about our broadcast schedule. So we're going to be doing today and tomorrow is going to be schema naming conventions and best practices. If you'd like to support the channel, we'd greatly appreciate it. We have our FM training annual subscription bundles. Basically, we do this for free 5 days a week. We stream to 3 different platforms, Discord, YouTube, and Twitch. But if you find that the streams are not enough for you, which is understandable, or that you don't like our style, we tend to have a more conversational style. Our streams also go on for a very long time. We do allow ourselves to go on little meanders sometimes. For some people, this doesn't coexist with how they learn things. In that case, I highly recommend you go give up. In that case, I would highly recommend that you go give our videos a try. Our videos are highly animated and they are very edited to be very short, and they are split up into a huge variety of topics. You can very easily go from knowing nothing about FileMaker to having a very competent understanding of the FileMaker platform after watching the whole series through. With all that being said, I think we're probably good. It is nice to
Okay.
have Nick back. Okay, Nick, what are we doing today?
Okay.
Enlighten me
Hello.
to the adventure.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello. So I'm very glad to be back, and it's been some time now. But I was, preparing, and I was creating the new generation of webinar. Okay. So what I took that this time where I was away to get the webinar to a new level. Okay. So, and to get things more professional, thing more prepared, thing more to enhance the clarity in the webinar, and to give you guys more things, right? To give you more documentation, to be more accurate on what I'm saying, and to be like, to give you a new level, a new, better quality of the product that you come to pay here, which is $0, 0 cents. But anyway, we want you to enjoy, to be here with us, and of course, we want to provide the best, the best webinar, the best content possible, right? Because the platform is evolving, the world is evolving, and we need to go forward and to move forward, and you always to be better. So, for example, let me share my screen. I don't have my camera, but tomorrow I will. And so, what I was saying is that all the webinar, all the topics that I'm going to talk to you and in the future and everything. So everything has been discussed and prepared using ChatGPT. Okay, so here an example of what I'm getting at the final result of what I'm getting after discussion with ChatGPT. ChatGPT knows me, knows my style, knows my webinar, he knows many things. So he knows how I'm speaking, he knows how I'm presenting, and it's coming to me with the best webinar possible, right? So like a script, right? So, and that to prevent that, to sometimes to feel like that I don't know what I'm talking about, or I skip things, and to avoid things like this. So now I have ChatGPT helping me, right, for many, many things, and I'm going to show you at one point how I'm using ChatGPT in my daily life, right? In my development and preparation for webinars, discussion of best practices. Sometimes I have argument with ChatGPT about things, right? And sometimes I win the argument. Sometimes he win the argument. He won an argument like 10 days ago, and I have to complete reverse about something that I was saying, and I changed my mind completely because of ChatGPT. Made me change my mind, and he was right, and I couldn't win the argument with all the detail and stuff that he came to me, take this in your face, right? Pretty much that was the discussion. And so this is what you get in the future. So stay tuned, buckle up, because it will be very, very interesting. The future webinar that I have, the topic very interesting, especially this sort, the reverse sort and sort records technique that I try to get done since like 30 years now, right? And I finally got it right 10 days ago, right? So, and all of this. So today we talk about a big topic that I always come to the table with this is the naming convention. How to name things in FileMaker. We are naming many things. We put names on all over the place, that start with the table name, right? Start with the table to the fields, relationships, variable in calculation, layouts, folder or layout, and scripts. And we put names all day long. We put name on everything, okay? And the way you name your stuff, right? That will be what will help you in the future, and avoid being like, oh, what the bleep I want to say with this field, go to relationship and say, oh, what the heck I wanted to do here, so you have no idea, you have no freaking idea what you wanted, why you did that, right? And of course, people will say, oh yeah, but I can put comment for this. Yeah, but you don't want to put comment on every single thing you do. So that's what I've learned when I was working with a upper class of developers, right? We FileMaker, we are baby developers, and I worked with people at Claris at FileMaker Inc. at that time, where they are upper class, Apple company, Apple developers, and FileMaker developer, but C++ and Xcode and whatever expert, right? Geniuses. So when I work over there, right, you can imagine that they have all the tricks and everything possible to gain time, to save time, and of course that heavily collaborational environment. Okay, so you don't have one developer doing everything. No, you have 25, 30 developers working on the same thing, right? So they have to share things, they have to share code. And of course, they can't take time to comment and describe everything they do. They do comments, right? They comment many things, but as much as possible, they use tricks and ways to avoid the comments and to make the name to be self-explanatory, right? Right. So when you name something, right, you need to take in account that you need to remember in 6 months from now what that means, what it's for, right? The name need to be FileMaker friendly. Because in FileMaker we cannot use special characters and stuff like that, right? You know that, when you put something like this and you create and you have this, so we cannot put names like this, contain stuff like this, right? And of course it needs to be FileMaker UI friendly as well. Okay, and that what I'm going to explain now is how to be like, FileMaker UI friendly, because FileMaker, unfortunately, doesn't have, especially this schema/edit database, managed database. We don't have a lot of modern ways to organize things inside this dialog. Okay, even though we have another way to use that, right? That dialogue, but not for everything. So that's why we need to keep naming things to be friendly with this environment. right? So let's start. Do we have any question for now, or everything okay?
Everything's good for the moment, so.
My sound is good?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Okay, so let's start with the beginning, right? Let's start with the table. Okay, so we have a table, we have a file like this, and you want to name your table, right? So let's forget about this for now. So let's say you want to name tables. And let's say you have accounts, for example, So how are you going to name accounts, You start with let's say 3 to 4 character that is accurate and understandable acronym. I'm not saying abbreviation, I say acronym, For example, if you want to create an accounts table, right? You name it ACC underscore accounts, right? It's an acronym, ACC account. Well, makes sense, right? Then you want to create a contact account, a contact table, right? So you say contacts, right? And of course, what you do, right? So you say CON underscore contact. So you create your contact. Let's say you want to create company, okay? So you write companies like this, right? Oops. Companies, okay? But you don't say COM. You will say COP, is better than COM, okay? Let's say COP, okay? Companies. So far, so good. So when you want to name something like invoice, for example, okay? So this is where it's interesting. So you have invoices, you will say, okay, let's say invoice like this, right? What? Yeah, that's good. But what about this? What do I do with this? Right? What do I do? ENV, INV like this? No, I can't because it's already taken by the invoice, right? So you say IVT for inventory, right? And you can say and still go and still go invoice with, because it's so IVT inventory invoice makes sense phonetically. Company, the P in company is more than the con. That's why you don't use M. Contact, contact. It's the on the contact is prominent, not in company. And account. So I use this trick of the phonetic sound to get the 3 letters in front. Sometimes you can go 3 4 letter. Like for example, let's say I have invoiced item, right? Well, I will do this. Invoice item, right? Invoices, invoice items, INVI, right? Let's say I have contact and I want to contact edit, to edit the contacts, right? So I will do this, CONE, right? Like this. You understand? Right? So this is, and if you want to do the same, right? You can say COP and you can say COPE for company edit. Great, right? So you have the letter the I for items, and the E for edits, right? So this is how you name your stuff, right? This is how you name your main table, that the main table, primary main table, okay? This is how you name it. And I'm going to show you why. So before we have questions.
Not at the moment. People are watching, but
Okay.
saying hi, but I don't
So
think
you will see, we say, okay, oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense and stuff like this. Yes, it does. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. So this is great. So let's go now to the real world. Okay. So why this? So why this? Well, let's say I'm here, right? You remember what I told you to be FileMaker UI friendly? FileMaker UI friendly. Okay, you're here. And let's say you have much more. So sometimes you have a lot of table here, right? So this navigation in the managed database, you navigate from tables, right? So yes, you can go there and sort by name, right? And look for what you want. And let's say, oh, I want this, and double click, and then you go to the fields. But this field here, this pop-up menu here is easier to use. Yeah, but there's a catch. There's a lot, sometimes you can have a lot. So let's say I'm here, I want to go to contact, right? Right? From here, I want to go to contact. So I open that menu and I type on the keyboard, CON, boom, I'm in contact. Okay, so now I want to go from here to cross-reference free. Okay? Boom. I don't have free. So you go to 4 because I don't have free, right? It doesn't exist. But let's say I have xref 2. Boom. Let's say I want to go to company. So what do I use? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so because I use CMP because I use CMP because I have another table. So sometimes you have a conflict with some other table, I know that I have a compilation, something like a table that's coming, right? So I need to free that COM stuff. Okay, but CMP is the right way to name company anyway. So let's say I'm here. I want to go to CMP. Or let's say I'm here and I want to go to CMPE, the edit company. CMPE, boom, I'm there immediately. Let's say now I'm in a relationship here, right? And I want to create a table. I want to create an occurrence with a table. And the table is system, for example. Well, I'm there immediately, right? So you use those let's say compression, like abbreviation or whatever, acronym, to refer and to make sure you can go straight. And sometime, and after that, you have another benefit of this, right? Is that is very, very easy to read. You don't even read that anymore. You read this, right? So it's simpler to navigate, right? Because it's not only on the schema that you can use this, it's everywhere, when you use here, and you say, set field, you have a set field here. Well, here you have the thing here, right? So let's say you want to set field something in xref1, okay, boom, xref1, boom, you here, this, because that's the only way we have to navigate throughout the schema. We don't have another way. Here, this is a way. So you need to do all of this and look. No. If I'm here, I want to go to contact, edit, COE, boom, contact edit, bam, I'm there, right? Directly. Thanks to the 3 to 4 character. Don't put more, because after that, the type over on the menu, stuff like that doesn't work. Okay. So that's why you need to just use 3 to 4. Okay, no more. Any questions so far?
CPN for company, maybe? Question mark.
Yeah, why CPM? Because the M come before the P.
No, I think he said CPN. That's me blurring
CPN,
my...
whatever suits you, but make something that makes sense. CPN, it doesn't sound company. Does it? I mean,
I think I'd probably do CPY or something, maybe. Company? Well, I don't know.
whatever suits you. Okay, whatever suits you. Here I'm comp. I can't. You can say COM, CMP. Use something phonetic. Okay. So anyway, you use whatever you want, but something that makes sense and something that doesn't, like inventory and invoice. You know what I mean? Don't use something that can be confusing, because sometimes you kind of have something like this. You have invoice item, invoice dashboard, invoice payment, invoice services, right? And here I have a conflict here. See? I have a conflict here, and I keep it especially for you. Here I have a conflict, and that can lead to a big mistake. For example, why if you do this, it's a problem. So let's say I'm here, right, or here, and I want to create something here, and I say, and I don't see what I'm doing. I don't see what I'm doing, and I wanted this, right? And I want the session. Where's the session? I want this, So you can easily make a mistake, right? Well, so how to fix this? Well, I will have fixed like this, invoice services and invoice session, right? Invoice services, invoice SS session, and SV service, because the S and the V are prominent phonetically in service, right? And session, there's 2 S here, right? So SS session, right? So that talks, and I can reverse the problem. Yes, you will say, oh, Nick, but you have 5 letters, right? Well, yeah, it's okay. You can have exceptions sometime when you get this level of, because also the benefit of this, right, of this naming is when you sort by name, right, you can get all of those invoice stuff together, right? They're all together. All my import stuff together, right? All my contact stuff together, all my company stuff together. You understand? Because all of those, one way or another, they are linked together. One way or another, right? They are linked together. Invoices with item, boom, link. Invoice dashboard, boom, linked. Invoice payment, boom, linked to invoice, which invoice item is linked to invoice. So boom, the invoice services. Yeah, I'm pointing to the services to create my invoices, and then I refer to this invoice item. Then there, and invoice type the same. Invoice type, which type of the invoice to get the item correctly based on the type. Boom, they all linked together, all of them, right? So yeah, I want them to be all grouped together, so you get some cluster, and we call that oriented objects coding standard. And we have a webinar about that, right? March, when that coming?
I don't quite know, actually. I'd have to go look off. I have to go
Okay.
I'd have to go hunt it in CMS. I don't know off the top of my head. We have a lot of things happening.
Yeah, we have a lot. So we have a webinar about how to code with or what we call object oriented, right? So, and that help a lot the development and coding and make things right. So, so I think I cover enough the table names, which is but maybe we can switch to the next topic. What do you think about?
We have some questions, actually.
Okay.
I may be late for this question, but is it hard to go in and rename the tables once you've already started?
Don't rename tables. Don't, yeah. I mean, here what I've done here is doesn't matter because I am on the early stage of development. But after that, normally, if you code correctly, it doesn't matter if you rename a table, right? Normally, if you code correctly, and that's why I'm doing all those webinars, normally, right? It doesn't matter, right? But I'm going to show you how to prevent breakage, okay? How to prevent things to break. Normally, it doesn't matter, but you should, when you name something here on the early states of, of your development, you can come and rename that, right? But after 10 years, if you find it is 10 years old, don't. Leave it as is. Put a comment if you want. Go ahead.
The next one is why are you not using the abbreviation and then use to comment the tables?
Abbreviation sucks. And I have a full, I have a full topic about this. The abbreviation, you shouldn't use abbreviation because they suck, So for example, I have an example here for you. An abbreviation, good for you, is good for you. But what about somebody else coming next to you? How you expect another person to know your abbreviation, right? And what about like inv? Okay, inv, what it is invoice, inventory. How you know if you have both in your solution? I tend not to use, so what cust, for example, what cust for, let's say you have cust. What is for? What stands for? Customer or custom? Because it can be, right? Invoice, inventory, BAL, balance, or, PO is purchase order or post office. And to be honest with you, abbreviation, imagine you have everything in abbreviation here. It's unreadable. I saw people coming with so many abbreviations in their stuff. They have a legend. They have a legend here. They have a legend in your stuff to tell what it is, what DE means, what TA means, what TB means, what SS means, what ST means. They have a legend because themselves they drown in their own their own abbreviation that doesn't make any sense. Don't use abbreviation. You can do whatever you want. I tell you, don't use abbreviation. Even ChatGPT agree with me. Don't use abbreviation, right? This is what it came from, right? So yeah, so don't use abbreviation, right? Don't misleading abbreviation, field script names, So yeah, you don't use this, If you, I understand we lazy as a human being, right? But you shoot on your feet. One day or another, this will come to bite you. This come back to bite you. And at the end, you have a legend to refer to your abbreviation. No, disastrous. Because I tell you something, if you use the right naming convention, you don't even read that anymore. You don't. No, you don't. For example, contact for you, for your entire life, on all your developments, I start using that 25 years ago, the TO, TO5, since 25 years, TO5 is contact. I don't refer to anything else. And when I refer to my customer, for example, I have a customer who is developing alongside with me. He's doing something, he's tweaking things, he's creating a field. I let him do that, right? He created a script that he needs something for his stuff right now, and then he said, "Oh, can you fix that for me?" Okay. When we talk between us, and we refer to FileMaker tables and stuff like that, we talk like that. Hey, Nick, what do you think about moving two fields from T12 to T13 and get an auto entry to? So what to T12 and what T13? We know what T12 is. T12 is invoices, T12 is invoices. I don't know if I have it here, T12. Yeah, T12 is invoices. And what T13? Invoice item. And what is T14? Invoice payment. And what is T15? Invoice log. And what is T16? Invoice session. At one point, you will know T13, 14, 13, TO5, T20, TO6. TO5 is edit, is contact, TO6 is contact edit, T20 is company, T21 is company edits. So you don't even refer to the table name, so you don't need the abbreviation. The abbreviation will come to you in that form. That form, TO5, T20, T22, T12, right? TO6. For me, TO6 is documents. T16 is document. Why? Because since 25 years ago, I started with T16. It came to 16 for documents, and I carry up that from since then. This is it. TO1, T01 is global, always. Always T01 globals, right? And T106 always is system, because since 25 years ago, but you can do whatever you want. You can come here, and I'm going to come to this, right? I'm going to explain, but now you understand, you don't refer to system anymore, or whatever company, or no, you refer to the number, to a number. And believe me or not, your brain will remember TO5 forever, You understand? So that's why you don't need abbreviation here. You need an abbreviation, a contraction, let's say, more than an abbreviation. It's a contraction. And I like to keep the phonetic contraction. It's because FileMaker, we don't have a search box here. We need to go here and type like this, right? Or like this, right? Or like this, right? So we need to type, and so we need to have a group of letters that is easy to type, or type over on the list or the menu here, or the set field or whatever, right? So, but abbreviation will come, right? You won't refer to TO5 to contact. You will refer to TO5, and you won't refer to contact identifier. No, you will refer to TO5L, right? And at one point you're going to remember, say, oh yeah, this one, because this one, for example, I use all the time. I'm using this, Okay, TO5F, I know it. I know what that means. I know what it is. I know what it's doing. I know when to use it, right? I don't give a damn about what happened here. This is just for me to recognize something. And we are going to come for that. But first, I need to start talking about field names. Do we have another question?
I think we're good for the moment. So.
Okay. So what about field names? Okay. This is an interesting topics. And I know you guys, you love abbreviation. You love, no, I don't. I don't. I know we lazy. I know we like the quick and dirty stuff, but doesn't work. It doesn't work. And it's you will save 5 seconds that will cost you 5 days of work, rework, debug, and problems. Okay. So first, we have different names. We have different field names, right? So so for the field names, right, we have the primary fields. What do we call the primary field? Okay, we have the fields that we always want to see on top of the list, right? And they are the most used fields and the most important. So when you say that field names, right? Well, when you say by field names, we want them to stand up, to stand out, and to come on top of the list. So first, you remember I always told you that you need to get a field for the primary key on every single table. Every single table needs to have a key, then you can refer to the records from that table, always. So primary key, that the only one that gets 2 underscore, right? 1 and 2, and you call it ID accounts, okay? ID accounts, and then this is auto entry when you say, okay, it's a UUID number, and you check this. Boom. This will always come first, right? Always come first in everywhere, right? Then, right, you want what we call foreign keys, so that the primary key, you bow to it, it's unique, it's for this table, it's for this record, it's unique, so you can pinpoint to a record both by its ID, okay? And now we have the foreign keys, the keys that say, okay, this record is related to another table via that field, right? So for example, here I can have a contact, right? So I have ID, that primary, and you can't have multiple ID here. You need to have one per table. You can't have multiple primary key per table. It's not possible, okay? But you can have multiple foreign key, because, you can have, let's say, for example, if I go to invoice, for example, right? If I go to invoice, for example, so I do have my underscore ID invoice, right? Which is a get, oops, right? And then an invoice can be related to a contact, can be related to an account, right? Right? Can be related to a company, right? Correct? That means I can have this invoice related to that contact, who is related to that company, who is related to that account. So you need to bring those IDs. So those are foreign IDs. This invoice, then you can get this invoice from the accounts that is related to that invoice, from that company and from that contact. Ergo, by the same token, you can get the contact information in that invoice throughout this ID. Then you can get the name of the contact, the address of the contact from that invoice, or the name of the company, or the name of the account, because you have the ID, and then poof, you get the you can get the information. You can get, you understand? So this is the primary key, the foreign keys, right? And then sometime you can have like some link, some things that is related to a relationship that is not an ID. Link, contacts, IDs, are what's the name? Current year, right? So you can have maybe you can have a calc that grabs the contact IDs of the current year, 2025, related to that, whatever. You got the points. Can be whatever, it can be whatever. So you have this as a link, right? Then I can come and, so do you have any question about this?
To prevent, someone had a comment that was interesting. To prevent going too long in names, the self-join tables, I don't name them twice. I use contacts _ self.
Yeah, no.
That's a very Nick response.
No, yeah, you can be lazy, whatever, but the last SpaceX rocket ship that exploded because of something like this, right? Because a developer copy paste a block of code without checking it because laziness, right? So and that costs like gazillions of millions, right? Okay, I'm not saying that it won't be that catastrophic, right? If you do that in FileMaker, I'm not saying this, but it's a really bad habit. For example, I have one here I can show, and here I say contact, even if it's long, I take the time, let me see if I have a long one here. I might have one somewhere under Xref. Yeah, I have one here. Is there? I take the time to do that, right? Why? I tell you why. Because I'm not yet there, but it's okay. I'll show you later. I'm going to answer that question. I'm not there yet. I'm still on the field name. Can I go with the field name, or do we have another question?
Nope, you're good. I would tackle
okay. I'm going to name that. Don't worry. Today is about naming the schema, nothing else. So I'm going to answer this, and I'm going to show you why. Okay. So let's say about names. So here you have names like this, right? See the names, IDs, and I don't know if I can go somewhere where I have an IDF, because I don't have IDFs on the contact, because the contact is the lowest possible. So let's go to, I hate when he's doing this. So, and let's go there. So I have like this, right? So we have primary and stuff like this. But let's keep the company, the contact like this, right? So I have I have fields and stuff like this. So why doing this? Why I have this? Well, most of the time, why I said okay, it will take forever. So why I'm using those things, and most of the people outside, and okay, I wrote these documents, naming coding standard. Maybe you can, I wrote these documents and I sent it to the community to make sure that this is the only one crazy guy in the planet could have done this, right? And I done it, right? And nobody else did it. Okay, so and that's why now you can refer. So this maybe Marge, you can send this document again. This
Yes, I know what
coding
you're
standard.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I've done everything is documented. Everything, how you name things, how and why, the pattern, and read it, and you will see. Look, why I'm using this technique when I'm building very, very complicated thing. Why I'm wasting my time doing it? Yeah, maybe because I have a OCD. Yeah, but you should have some good OCDs like this, right? That say, okay, you name your stuff. Name your stuff. It will help you in the future. And I guarantee this. I'm spending 10, 12, 13, 16 hours in front of my computer doing FileMaker stuff since I'm 16 and I'm 55 next year, right? I start with Nashoba FileMaker. I didn't even start with Claris, right? So I know a little bit, right? A little bit, maybe. So trust me, I'm giving you my experience doing things. It will help you, and you will thank me. One day I was working for a Greek company, and the guy said, and I told the guy, I said, look, if you want to work with me, you have to name your stuff like this. Otherwise, I don't work, because I was okay. This is his work. This is his work, right? How can we work with this? It's impossible, right? Well, so I said, you need to work with this. And at the first 2 days, 3 days, he said, Nick, I hate you. I hate you because it's a pain in the butt to do your stuff. After a week, he said, you know what? Thank you. Now I got it. Because he worked and he said, oh yeah, I will have done a mistake here. Oh yeah, I will have make a mistake here. Oh yeah, I will have do the wrong field. Oh yeah, So let's continue. Do we have a question, or I can continue?
You are good to keep going.
Okay. So let's say, so I want to refer to a field, right? So let's say I want to refer to our set field, right? And I'm here, right? So, and this is there, always on top. It's always on top, I can go to another table, boom. The primary key is always there. And the most important keys are there too. And then you have other keys. But those keys are always there. For example, if I'm going there and I am here and I say TO5, boom, bam, that's the first. Always, the primary key, which is something you use all the time, T20, bam, bam, primary key, right? Now, let's say I want to go there, TO5, and I don't want this. I want everything with one, one underscore and L, right? You understand? Or if I go to xref here, I want the underscore, ID, poof. I have all my IDs, underscore ID, or underscore F, IDF. Okay. So I have all my foreign keys here, right? So that's why you name like this. If you do double underscore, you have one, right? It's easier to separate your building type of, schema related fields, things that you don't even use never for editing, for example, but you use all the time for your scripting and whatever. It could be like on your layout here. It could be on any type of calculation, like here, for example. Like, see. So you use fields, right? You use fields. So let's continue. What about normal names, right? So how do you want to, for example, how you name your first and last? So when you name something, right, you need to keep as much as possible, as little as possible, right? But I'm not saying that first name to be like this, right? That's not first name, or last name, because I saw that, right? So this is crap. LN, FN, okay, for you it's first name, last name, but for me, it's not. It's not, right? So we don't do that, okay? No, instead, we are in contact, we are in contact where first and last is self-explanatory to me, right? I mean, first and last, right? But when it comes to the full name, when I want the name, the full name, for example, I don't put name, right? I put full name. Why? It's because I have full address, right? So you cannot just say full. You can just put full, right? You need to identify what it is, right? Or just put name of what, right? First, you understand. Last, you understand. Name, what name? We have first and last, or full name, or I understand now what it is, right? And you cannot say just full, because full what and full address and full, you get confused, right? Same for the phone numbers, you don't say mobile phone and mobile work and work phone. No, you put phone, mobile phone, work. You put all your phone together, oriented objects developments. Okay? Object oriented. That's what it means, right? Phones, emails, right? Email home, email work, not home email or work email. And no EH and EW, you don't want that. Imagine that you put all your stuff like this. Everything you do is an abbreviation. Let's do it. Let's do it. No, because I need to kill this in the egg before it spread, right? So let's say I'm in contact. So I have LN, I have FN, I have home phone, I have home email, I have work phone, I have work email, and I have cellular. Okay, that I have accounts. I have number of invoice. So all of this. So everything is abbreviated. I just spell. So what it is, right? I don't even remember what CL means. I just created. I don't remember what CL means. I don't remember. HP, a home phone. Okay. So you want this? Do it, and good luck. good luck. You need a big jar. It's a jar, the big jar of Excedrin or whatever, Advil, you need that. Because this is insane. That's why I want to kill this. Because you can use 1, 2, but if you use everywhere, right? No. I mean, do whatever you want. But this, I don't need. I don't need a legend, and I don't need a comment to explain to me what this do. Right? It's companies display details, and then I have company display master. What that means? In my layout, I have a special treatment. When in this list here, I want company here to display something. There's a calc here, but I have one for here and I have one for here. I have 2. Company display master detail and master of the master detail, right? And company display detail. This is one for the master, and this is the one for the detail. There's 2 different calculations, right? 2 different, right? One doing this. It says no companies. When this is empty, then it looks great. It doesn't look, crap, right? And for details, it's slightly the same, but it could have some differences here. For example, when there's a contact, when the contact has multiple company, I wrote 1, 2, 3 companies, and the 4th I said +1. I displayed 3 companies, and then I say +1 if there's 4, +2 if there's 5, +3, right? I can show you the data here. I don't have data. Maybe I can show you my sample data here, maybe. Let me go. Okay. Here. So here, for example, I'm showing the first company, right? In this here, I said the main company, the first company here, I said test engineer, because this guy is an engineer for test, right? But he's on 2 companies, even more, 3. So he has 5 companies here, right? 5 company. I showed test company, I showed 2, and then I said +3. Same here. I'm showing this. He has 3 different job title, right? 3 different job title, and he's an engineer, a project manager, major project, +1. And you have a hover, and then you can go to your record and you can see what it is, right? Correct? Right? So there's calculation here. So I have 1 for this and 1 for this is different, right? So that's why. But I don't need an abbreviation. I don't use abbreviation. Okay. Same for email. You can say, oh yeah, but can I do email H and email W? Come on. Are you that lazy? Come on. You know what I mean? Because it won't help you. It won't help you what H means. So now, let me show you why, right? I'm here, I'm tapping H here. Oh, okay, I have all of this. I want my phone home. I'm tapping H. Oh, if I type home, that better, no? Is that better? No, let's see. I have my H. I have H. Okay. So now I'm typing W. Or I'm typing work. That better, no? I mean, isn't better? Or do you want to keep your abbreviation? Keep your abbreviation. I want my W. Because if I name this W, if I name this W or H, I cannot type home. I can't, right? It won't work. It doesn't work, right? It doesn't. You understand? It doesn't. So the abbreviation, don't use it, right? So let's continue because I see the time is running, and I'm not finished. So globals. So you got the point here. Group-oriented objects, company all together, email together, list of together. I'm going to come there. Job title together, initial together, globals together, full name together, right? Oriented object together. You group them together, right? So if you say display name full and then full name display, boom, it's not together. It's not, right? So keep name like this. Globals, they need to be identifiable like this. And you say G, underscore, and you put whatever. And don't use freaking abbreviation, please. Okay, so globals, why? For the same reason, for the same reason. Oh, I want a global. Okay, here are your globals. They're here. Yeah, you have all the things, of course, but mainly you have your globals, and if you do this, you have even more. I want all the global about salt, right? You get them. You understand? Group together, oriented object. Yeah. So G, that the first filter, underscore, that the second filter, and then you can even say S or that. So you have filters, oriented object, boom, 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 and then you select which one you want, right? So globals, you name like this, phone like this, all the sort keys together, they're together, they work together, sort selection, sort state, all of this is sort. All of this is part of, I'm referring to sort stuff inside. Get sort state, So I need that. This, you need to be connected. So you name like this. When everything is about the key, a list of keys, selection, state, but it starts with sort. And you don't use, and please don't use sort underscore, keys and underscore mobile and underscore IDs and underscore, this terrible. You don't use this here at all. It doesn't make any sense on the fields to use underscore in every single word, And even if you need to go to the SQL, even SQL and FileMaker, but if you need to go to SQL and stuff like that, you have what we call mirror fields, I'm not saying shadow because that's a meaning here, shadow, but you have mirror fields, right? And I'm going to explain that to you. But you don't shoot yourself. Name your stuff. The most, why? Is because in 6 months, a year, 2 years, you know what that means. You don't need a freaking legend or a freaking, comments. It's self-explanatory. It's self-explanatory, right? Look, I'm not inventing it. It's there, self-explanatory. Where's there? Here. Make your schema self-explanatory. Reduce the error of the what the fuck moment 6 months later, and make the collaboration painless. It's done, yeah. Bad example, right? So let's continue. And the tags, tags is when you have 1, 0, yes, no, good, bad, So tag. So you need to identify that tag underscore, like a global underscore, like list of underscore. Each summary field, you need to list them as is. For example, this here, it's a list of contact ID, right? And then you have, for example, if you want to do a total of, I don't know, whatever, or count of this. For example, there's a count of, not a list of, you want a count of this, okay? So this is not a list of, it's a count of, right? Count of, and you have list of, could be total of, could be maximum of, max of, mean of, count, average, total, list, right? So you can do that, right? List of, and so this is a summary field. You know it, the way it is named, right? Yeah, I changed that as a number, but it was for the developments. I need to turn it on summary at one point, but for now I don't need that, so I turn it off. So, so this is for the name of the fields. Group them together naturally. Name them for what they are and not what they do. So we don't care what they do. I don't care. This is not a global to get the direction of the sorting. No, this is not. It's to define the direction is sort direction. That the list of the sort key list. Okay. So you say for what they are, not what they do. This is the full name. Right? What they are, what they represent, not what they do. Don't do that. Never. Because what you mean, what you meaning to what they do today, maybe you will change your mind in 2 months or 2 weeks or 10 days. Right? Because this is heavily based on feelings. And how you think today, and when you mood, we need to get your mood out of the equation. You know what I mean? So that's why we need to go back to the algorithmic and not the semantic. Algorithmic. This is algorithmic. Sort keys with an S because I have multiple. Same here, it's a list of contact IDs because I have multiple. Here, I have contact, ID contact. This is link company IDs because I have multiple. So also, when you name things, try to give you some clues, like Cluedo, in the living room with the chandelier, right? Give you clues that help you, company IDs, contact identifier IDs. I give myself clues. You understand? You need to give you clues because you have no idea what this means, right? And when you know that this received multiple IDs, that helps. Right? So do we have any question for that?
I don't see any at the moment. So I think we're pretty good. Someone mentioning that they saw the new Mac UI and how it's much better than the Windows UI now for FM25.
Oh, I mean, that forever. I mean, I'm sorry to say that. Maybe the boss will kill me, but I'm far away, so
You can touch.
Yes. I couldn't be a FileMaker developer using a PC computer. It is impossible. The problem is that unfortunately, and I'm not saying that Windows bad, which it is, but I'm not saying it. I'm saying that FileMaker is too Mac. There's too Mac in the DNA, right? So why, for example, you still have this in FileMaker development? You know, why we still have this, even on PC, is because this menu, pop-up menu, behave in a way in Mac that is way superior than in PC, right? So, and you can see here why, right? Because PC, you have like maybe this, right? So maybe we'll do like, you have this here on PC. If I open this, right? So when you open this on PC, right? And you will see, oh, I can, you know what I mean. So I try to do with the drawing stuff. But so that's why, you know, I can work with it's impossible. It's totally impossible. So if you want, you can have users using FileMaker solution on PC, no problem. And you, as a developer, you deal with FileMaker on Mac. You know, you will have like so many advantages. You can't even imagine, especially that you have access to the menu here when you don't. And my big the thing that I hate on PC, right, is when I have this a cast window. Pretty much on PC, you screwed. If you don't have a closed window here, because you don't have access, and you can't, from that console window, right? You can say, oh, okay, I want to access my script workspace. You can't if he's not open before, or worse, you don't have access to the debugger from the console window. Which is, to me, it's nonsense to complete. So I can, you know, the list is, you know, phenomenal. You know, the advantage you have on Mac. Anyway, so let's continue, shall we? So I want to start talking about, I have 10 minutes, maybe 15. It will be like a 1 hour and a half webinar today. But I really want to talk about this, you know, about this. So, of course, you can't build schema like this. You know, if you build like this, I mean, this is beyond salvation. This needs to be terminated. You know, this, you can save this. You know, this is insane, doesn't work, and is not savable. You can't save this. It's impossible. If you don't trust me, try. It's not savable. And this cannot work, this. And this too. This is too insane. Obviously, you know, you can't have things built like this, you know. It's impossible to retrieve your stuff. The name, it doesn't make any sense, you know, and it's horrible and slow, really slow, I can tell you. So instead, you need to use the anchor buoy schema technique. Maybe you can send the link to the anchor buoy webinar that we have, and I might have I might do another one in the future about anchor buoy, but you need to. Okay. So I'm not going to explain the anchor buoy, how it works, but here you have the anchor. Let's continue with context. This, you have the anchor. The anchor is the layouts. pretty much. The anchor is the layout and is the primary table, CON contacts. So I'm point to the first, and I name it in big and uppercase, right? So it's TO5 contact uppercase. Why? Because it helps you visually to identify here. When you say TO5, this one is the head. I can see it. Head, the anchor. You see, you can see it. You can navigate. You see what I mean? You don't even see that anymore. You concentrate on this. Oh, for example, here, where's the next? This one is the next. See? Oh, this one. 4, 5, 1. See? You can see it's standing out. It stands out in this menu. And that's the only way that's the only reason why I'm doing this. And of course, it stands out as well here. Obviously, it stands out. Correct? Well, so I know in this menu or in this here, I know when this stands out. It stands out. Yes or no? It stands out. Okay.
Yeah, it stands out. Yes.
Yeah. So that's why you need to do that. Okay. Then, what about the anchor? The anchor. What about the buoys? They all start with contact like this, but in lowercase always, right? And then you start naming them TO5 A, B, C, D, E, F. But don't try to be too smart here. I explain. You can see I have some contact identifier here on L, and then I have another one on Q, right? You see they're separated. Why? Because chronologically, I start building those, and then I build those. But I didn't try to move them up, group them together to get the letters to follow. Don't. First, this is easy when you have like this, 20 occurrences. But when you have 350, how you do? That you need to manually rename all your letters when you have 200. I have solution. My numbering here, it's A, B, C. I did A to Z, right? And I said A to AZ, right? Can you imagine? So you can't. You have too much to do. First. Second, this is way better to keep chronologically and not trying to group them together, right? Because I know this. You can say, oh yeah, I built like 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I built this relationship. Is there. 6 months ago, it cannot be here. Is there. It's one of the first you created. You know what I mean? And by the same token, oh yeah, that I built yesterday. I built the relationship yesterday. Oh, it's there. It is there. It's one of the latest. It cannot be one here. It's impossible if it's being there. And most of the time, what you're interested in is the latest because you are in an ongoing work. You are working on something. So you are pretty much interested on retrieving the latest stuff you built, right? So don't try to be smart here. The only thing that is important is to keep going with the letters and don't have two N's and two M or three O's. Be consistent, right? But don't try to move them together. You know what I mean? By all the addresses together, all the contact identifier together. No, it's impossible to do that. And visually, I don't do that neither. Try to do that like this, right? And mix matching the letters. This is because you say, okay, oh, where's my TOP? Oh, TOP, GK. Oh, you know what I mean? You messed. Oh, it's there. Why is there? It should be here. You understand? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? When you retrieve something, oh yeah, that the TOP is a TO5P. Where it is? Oh, you need to. Oh, it's there. Right? That doesn't work. It doesn't work because you read like this. Right? Second, what you need to do is to the target table need to be named without abbreviation, right? And without this, you don't count this. You name as is contact identifiers in upper character. Why? Because obviously, so let me, obviously, when you read, you ignore this. This here, this part here, visually you ignore it. Visually you ignore it. And just what you read is this, because I give you the way that you can do it, because it is upper character. It's visually standing out. You can tell your eye, avoid this. Don't look at this. Read this. You understand? Try right now, you know? Let me clear this, right? You can visually, you can say, okay, preference, contact, address. Try focus on the upper character. You will see the TO5 contact, TO5H contact, TO5I contact disappear from your vision. Right? Do we agree?
Yes.
Okay. So now you understand why is this. Is because it is to help you, because we don't have a lot of help here. FileMaker left us like in 1985. It's like those TikTok videos from AI say, oh, hey guys, you stuck in 2025. We are come back in 1985. So this is what I'm feeling when I'm looking at this, you know? I'm feeling, hey, you know what? You in 2025, come back to the 1885. We go to Blockbusters and we go to the arcade and you know. This is what I'm feeling. If FileMaker is listening to me, this is how I'm feeling, right? So that's why we came with those tricks, and that helps a lot. But it needs to be consistent, right? It needs to be consistent. So this part here, right? It's the target primary key. And it needs to make sense. For example, here, it's the IDF user, right? So, for example, here I have a bug because I copy paste. This is the bug. So it needs to be the key here, you know, the key here. This is what it needs to be. IDF user. Here, for example, it's ID contact. And here, for example, okay, here I have an exception. I'm going to come later. So and here I have two, see here, I have two, where it was, here. I have two fields, right? So I'm referring to the most relevant, the most interesting to define what this occurrence do. The most interesting, the most relevant, the most important that I need to know when I read this, right, is this. You know, it's from the address. It's from the selected address. You know, this is additional. This is additional, but the most relevant, the most prominent is this. I'm using this one first. And I'm putting this character here to symbolize that, hey, I have another one. So if you're interested, I show you, that's another one, right? Or others. So you better check if you're not sure of yourself, right? So yes, you can, when you have this here, it's hard to know which one belongs to one, but you can double click on the wire or select the wire or double click on the wire, right? You don't have to double click here. You can double click on the wire, select the wire, select the wire, select the wire. You can do that, right? So I took so much, I have so much, you know, I'm doing that so much. I don't even double click on this anymore, right? And then, so you use the most relevant field name, the most important, okay? And if there's others, well, you say, yeah, but there's others, right? So here is this one is the most relevant, right? Because it's depending on for what you created it. So now, these things, they need to be, the name need to be algorithmic and not semantic. Let me explain. They need to describe what it is, not what it's doing. For example, this here, this, right? No, not this one. Hold on. The J, I think. No, the G. Okay. Okay. So the TO5G, right? See, for example, I'm looking, is there, you know, F, you know, this one, yeah, is the portal, is the company portal. So you will say, hey, Nick, you know what? This is the what's the name? The contact company portal, right? You will say, hey, Nick, this is better. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Contact company portal. Okay. So you know now what that means. In 6 months, okay, what's the contact company portal? Oh, that's the portal. Okay, but so you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. You know what it's for. Okay, cool. And you will end up having this. You will end up having this. That's the same. That's the same, exactly the same. If I have the contact company portal, and if I want to go to the related company of that contact, that's exactly the same name. That's the same occurrence. It will end up being the same, right? But because your name, it doesn't make any sense, you will create another TO, another table of occurrence, and this is bad. You know, a table of occurrence, you need to create it with, wisely. You can create 2 billion table of occurrence. Oh, I don't care. No, it's heavy. It's big. You know, it has effect to your performance a lot. And why having those duplication if it's the same, because that will be the same. If I want to go to the related contact, I will do this, I will do this. It's the same. It's the same, right? But I don't know, because I know what this do, but I don't know what this is, right? Now, if you do, so I need to cancel this crap because otherwise. So why this is better, right? Why this is better? Because I know all of it. I know everything of it. I know what it is. It's from contact to cross-reference one, which is the table involved in this, right? By the ID contact only, I don't have the tilde here. It is sorted, so I have a key and it deletes, right? It deletes, and I have a sort key, right? I know what it is, so I can reuse it for everything I need. If I need this for something, I want to go to the cross-reference one, table using this key. Okay, I have it. This can be the poll, can be go to red record, can be to give me the list of company. Count how many company I have. How many company I have. That will be the field. That will be the relationship. How many company I have to this contact. That will be the relationship I will use to do that. Right? Sometime I put an additional information like self. Even though this is contact to contact, but I'm going to say self as well. Why? Okay, so let me explain. So let's say I have this, okay? So I want all my contacts, So this is this, and I can do this, right? So they're all my contacts table like this, right? From contact to something, right? TO5 contact, they're here. But now, look this. What about this? Now I switch. It's underscore contact, but the target. This is a source. And this is a target. So now you have your answer, whoever asked me this. If I put self here, you're screwed. But I can add self as well. I can add self. I want all my TOs that goes to contacts that are self. If you go to the lazy, to the quick and dirty, you fucked. You lose it. You don't have it. You don't. So when you have 10 relationships, that's okay. When you have 10 relationships, that's fine. But if you have 1,000 of relationships, you need all of those things to help you. Otherwise, you're screwed. You understand? So here you have the demo. You use the underscores and the double pipes as like for example, I want all the double pipe ID contact. They're here. They have the IDF sometime, but you know what I mean, right? It comes here. And I can, if I want, I can be even smarter and do this. And boom, I have the ID and IDF. I have both of them, but still, I have all the fields that goes to, I have all the relationship that are related with the ID contact field and the F. But what happens if I do this, right? Right? IDF contact, well, because I don't have any. That's why. But I can do this, right? So you got the point here. You got the point that you need help and you need to be smart. Like I said, in the self-explanatory, I don't need a comment for this because everything there is coming to contact. It go to contact identifier related to the IDF contact field with some other fields, right? I don't even know if I can see that. No, it doesn't. And it's for other users edited. I put here something to help me understand because I have many. I have this one and this one. They are the same. They're the same. They go to the same, but this is for other users new. This is for other users edited. This is the same as well, but it's all about the current users. So I use another identifier here. I'm not using contact, I'm using user. User is more relevant for this relationship, and that is for the current user new. Current user edited and deleted. So if I go there, there's different here. Tag deleted, right? It points to the tag deleted. And I include the current user. Here is for the tag new, not edited. And I include here is for other users. So I exclude the current user. I want other users, right? So this part here, be smart, right? Because it's helped you. For example, here, the same, I want everything that is edited. All of those are edited, they are for edited. And I can even, do here, so here now we cannot solve it, but you got the point. So I want, all the current users, this is current user, current, So you got what I mean?
Yes.
Got it?
I think
Right?
I think we do.
So before we go, I know it's late. Sorry, Amand, but this is very important. The other one I will be more, but we have tomorrow. We have tomorrow,
we have 2
right?
days, so
we have 2 days. I thought it was 1 day. Okay, so we're coming back tomorrow on this. Okay,
works for me.
Okay, sorry for that. I thought we had 1 day.
No, it's fine. I figured that you had a lot to cover in 2 days, which is why I was letting it go.
Yeah, it's
good
okay.
information.
I have enough to fry anyway. We can come back and come with more. If we have questions, we can come tomorrow, and we do a lighter one tomorrow. I thought I was sure it was 1 day.
You're totally good. We have a lot of little random 1 days.
Okay,
Thank you very much, Nick. We learned a lot today.
Yeah, and at the end tomorrow you will get a slide about, because you don't really need a file for that. It's you need a slide and you need a recommendation. You need the file. You have the PDF, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So see you tomorrow.
Yes, works for me. Thank you, Nick. I will
Thank
see you later. Everybody have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.